Hi everybody, it's Nicolas again, Crystal Organic Farm. Today we want to talk about planting garlic. It's the season, we're in mid-October, and it's a good time in Georgia anyway to plant our garlic. And so the way we do that is we save our garlic from year to year. I have a feeling, I feel like garlic gets to know your soil and gets better and better, and improves and becomes more reliable if you can keep it and it gets used to your environment and your soil. So the way I go about this is I save my garlic. You break up the garlic. I already broken this piece and this piece. And so what you want to do is you really only want to plant the bigger pieces. The center pieces that you that break up now, this is kind of labor intensive. Come on. This is another big piece. Actually, all these pieces are fairly nice and big. But a lot of times what you'll end up with, especially if it's a soft neck garlic, is you'll end up with small pieces in the center. And you don't want to plant those because they will create I mean, you could, but they'll just make a small garlic. And so if you're actually doing this for commercial purposes, your best bet is to grow only to plant only the bigger cloves.
Willie. Introduce Willie.
This is our new dog Willie. She's my companion at the farm. She's 4 months old, so she's got lots to learn about where to be and not to be.
Oh God, Willie, why in the garlic?
Okay, so the way you plant garlic, it's a very simple process. Obviously we do it by hand, but you have, I call it the tail, and you have the root section. So you want to plant it tail up, because the sprout will come this way, and even if you plant it on the sideways, the garlic will turn itself over. Now, if you're trying to grow commercial garlic, you don't want to plant it on the side because the value of the garlic won't be as good, and it takes a lot of energy for the garlic to turn itself over. So do plant it like this. You plant it about 2.5 inches deep and about 3 to 4 inches apart. You can plant it closer, but then if you really are looking for it to create a big garlic, which can then be about 2 inches wide, the garlic can easily touch each other. And the plant of garlic, it's really tall, so you really got to give it plenty of space. In this case, we do 3 rows. The rows are about, I don't know, maybe 12 inches apart or so. Our bed is 5 foot wide. The rows are 12 inches apart. And the way we plant it is, well, now we have a transplanter, but in the past, I would just plant it just like this, push it down about 2 inches, close the hole, and then after a while you get the measurement. But our measurement was this, and we plant the next one. And obviously, the best thing also to do is to try to get a straight line. So in the past, we would have a drip irrigation here that we would get really tight, and we would follow the drip irrigation to make sure we have a straight line. Because if you don't have a straight line, you have a curvy line. When it's time to actually weed the garlic, when it's come up, it's much more difficult. It's much easier to do if you have a straight line. So we fertilize the soil first with a 5-4-3 NPK fertilizer made out of chicken litter, organic fertilizer. And then we side dress it again in the springtime. Now if you mulch, it's a great thing to mulch the garlic, just to protect the soil from heavy rainfall and from erosion. But you don't really want to mulch until after you had a chance to get some of these first weeds out. We just planted this bed of garlic here not long ago, and you can tell that some of the riots coming up and some of the weeds, so we really want to try to get those out before we mulch it, because then mulching can only be done by hand, crawling it, and that's just... as you can tell, we have quite a bit of garlic that we're planting. And this is really the first time we're planting this much garlic. So we'll see how it goes. But the demand is very big. You know, most of the garlic in this country is still imported. There's a lot of garlic coming from China and from Argentina, and so there's definitely a huge demand for local garlic. And so we're trying to meet that demand. And also another great thing about garlic is that deer don't like it and don't eat it, so they leave you alone with it. But back to fertilization. So we fertilize initially, we side dress in the springtime, and then also we will foliar spray a couple times throughout the growing season with a fish emulsion. That kind of helps, not just the fertilizer, but brings a lot of the other minerals that are necessary, and for healthy plant growth. We'll talk about harvesting the garlic when it actually is time to harvest it, and also because there's actually 2 crops to garlic, 3 really. There's one that's called a green garlic. It's like a green onion. It's about the size of your pinky. You can pick it at that point. It tastes just like garlic, but it looks like a green onion. There's a huge demand for that because at that time, it's early in the springtime, and people are really hungry for garlic. And it's tastes very good. It's a bit milder, and it's great in salads and stir fries. And so a lot of times we plant our smaller cloves and we pick them for green garlic. And then the second crop that you can get out of garlic before you actually harvest the actual garlic is the garlic scape, which is the flower of the garlic. And you want to get it fairly young. And I can show you that how that works later on in the season. But that's also very tasty. People use it to pickle it. It's got a very strong garlic flavor. I love it. And so you get that, and that's also to be sold. And then at the end, of course, you have the garlic itself that you can sit on. It stores really well. We try to have enough garlic to sell year round. If you keep it in the right stored condition, you can have garlic year round. And where we store it is in a air conditioned room that's really well insulated. We try to keep the temperature around 60 degrees with lower humidity. And we actually have never kept it garlic that long because we sell out much quicker than I like to. So that's why we're trying to grow much more and see how far we can go with it. But grow garlic. It's really good for you, and it's easy to grow.
Willie, are you eating garlic? Come on. Willie, you're going to be healthy.